All right, guys, this is my third attempt here. My apologies. I had to just delete the other one, so hopefully this will be my last one uploaded. My phone keeps cutting out on me, probably for room in the phone or whatever. I'm not too sure. Anyhow, on my last video, we left off on Psalms 40, 6 through 8. Speaking of the confirmation of Malachi 2, 4 through 7, how God's covenant and establishment with man is that of life and peace and equity for all creation. Okay? Now, I did pick up through lots of research and study and to confirm these things which are true, ancient texts from Enoch, and I don't know if you guys have studied from Enoch or not, but he knew a lot about Moses and the things of the times of Moses. So I want to continue a study of what that one law meant. Now, if we go back to Exodus 16:4, remember it says that God wanted to feed the children of Israel manna from heaven, which was the bread, and to allow them to go and gather so much each day so that God could prove them to see if they will continue in his law or not. That means to not disrupt any life. All life is given through the life giver, the Father of all light and life, right? He is the holy breath. When man comes and distorts that or deviates from that, okay, or gets in the way of that, right, of that life being here, whatever it may be, you have committed treason. You basically have stepped back and committed the evil before God, and men are doing that everywhere. So let's learn about what this one law is in depth. That way we can learn a little bit more about it, and then I'll be letting you guys go. Got to go to work here shortly. It says the one law. It says the law was planted to reward the children of light with healing and abundant peace, with long life, with fruitful seed of everlasting blessings, and with eternal joy and immortality of eternal light. It says the one law, the teachings which Moses brought forth at Mount Sinai were practiced 1,500 years later by the Essene brotherhoods in Palestine and Egypt. To understand his teachings is to understand the values the Essene practices have for man today. Moses was the giver of the law, the one law. He established the monotheism, that was to become not only the fundamental tenet of the Essene brotherhoods, but of all Western civilization. The most authoritative information we have about his teachings comes from their brotherhoods. Their tradition divides his life into 3 periods symbolic of the experiences in every man's life. First was the 40 years during which he lived as a prince in Egypt. In the second period of his life, he spent 40 years in the desert following the path of nature, studying the book of nature, as have many other great geniuses and prophets, including the Messiah. In the huge vastness of the desert, with their solitude and silence, great inner truths have been brought forth. In this period of his life, Moses discovered the one law, the totality of all laws. He found that this one law governed all manifestations of life, and it governed the whole universe. To him, it was the greatest of all miracles to find that everything operates under one law. Then he came upon the idea of the totality of laws, and this totality he called the law, spelled with a capital L. He first observed that man lives in a dynamic, constantly changing universe. Plants and animals grow and disappear, moons wax and wane, and there is no static point in nature or man. He saw that the law manifests in perpetual change, and that behind the change is a plan of cosmic order on a vast scale. Following along? Gets better, watch. He came to understand that the law is the greatest and only power in the universe, that all other laws and all things are part of that one law. The law is subject to no other law or laws. It is eternal, indestructible, incapable of defeat. A plant, a tree, a human body, or a solar system each has its own laws, mathematical, biological, and astronomical. But the one supreme power, the law, is behind all of them. It governs all. The law governs all that takes place in the universe and all other universes existent. All activity, all creation, mental or physical, it governs all that exists in physical manifestation, in energy and power and consciousness, all knowledge, all thought, all feeling, all reality. The law creates life and it creates thought. Do you see what that law is now? All right, see? The sum total of life on all planets in the universe was called by the Essenes the cosmic ocean of life, and the sum total of current of thought in the universe was called the cosmic ocean of thought, or cosmic consciousness in more modern terminology. This cosmic ocean of life and cosmic ocean of thought form a dynamic unity of which man is an inseparable part. He is an inseparable part. Every thinking body of every individual is in a constant intercommunion with this unity. What is that unity? The law. It is God. Make sense? Every human being is an individualized part of the unity. This unity is the law, the eternal light of which Moses spoke. It's beautiful, guys. Moses saw the law broken everywhere. Egypt had been built without regard for it. Despite the nation's great military and political might, there was no law of equality. Misery and slavery existed everywhere. Rich and poor alike suffered from oppression, epidemics, and plagues. He learned that ignorance of the law, of the laws of nature, was responsible for all evils, and that the rulers and the ruled were equally to blame. It became evident to Moses that everything created as a result of deviation from the law destroys itself and in time disappears. See? Only the law is eternal. Everything else changes. The third period of Moses' life, the Exodus, began when he determined to dedicate the remainder of his days to the realization and application of that law and to bringing mankind into harmony with it. Get it? Man steps out of harmony of that law of all life and equity seen in Malachi 2. Okay, Malachi 2, 4 through 7. That was the covenant with Levi. It was also the covenant with Adam, the covenant with the Messiah. Okay, it's all the same, you guys. They lived in harmony with the laws of nature and the universe. God is that law. They hurt none. Okay, there is no harm to any life. It says, he recognized the enormity of the task before him in attempting to make both the ignorant masses and the arrogant rulers to accept the law and live in harmony with it. Seemingly insurmountable obstacles confront all world reformers when pure idea meets the opposing force in the inertia of the human mind and the resistance of entrenched power. It represents a revolution of the dynamic against the static, of higher values against pseudo-values, of freedom against slavery, and it is not limited to one time in history, nor to mankind as a whole, but occurs repeatedly in the life of individual man. It's still going on. It's getting worse. When Moses found he could not change the Egyptian rulers or the masses of the people, he turned to the small minority, the enslaved and the oppressed people of Israel, hoping to convert them and establish a new nation based wholly on the law. The law of what? All life, peace, and equity towards all creation. He is the only figure in universal history that did establish such a nation. Moses saw the universe as a gigantic cosmic order in which existed inexhaustible sources of energy, knowledge, and harmony at man's disposal. It's your inheritance. He had always remembered the two legends of his ancestor Jacob, who had fought and conquered an angel and later had had a vision of angels ascending and descending upon a ladder of connecting heaven and earth. That we mentioned Jacob in my video before this one. He identified the angels as the forces of nature and the powers of man's consciousness and saw that these forces and powers were the connecting link between man and God. He identified God with the great universal law. He came to the conclusion that if a man is to reach God, he must first become master of all the forces which are manifestations of God, of the law. He wanted to make this people strong with the law, which is the meaning of the word Israel. And he wanted to create a system of life which would make it possible for them to conquer the angels as their forefather Jacob had done. This was the foundation of science as it is termed today, of the science of the angels, later recorded as angelology. Moses wanted his followers to realize that they are in constant contact every moment of their lives in all points of their being with all the forces of life, and visible and invisible, in the universe. And if they contact these powers consciously and become continually conscious of them, they will enjoy perfect health, happiness, and harmony in their body, mind, and every department of their lives. You see how it's all kind of making sense now? I hope many of you have watched my other videos and you've come to a conclusion of what this is. The method of contacting these forces was engraved on the 2 stone tablets he brought down from Mount Sinai, but destroyed them when he found the masses of his people were not ready for the teaching, even as the masses of mankind today are not ready for it, and may not be for many generations to come. Very sad. But to the few who were ready, he taught the method given on the tablets, the communions with the angels, which has been preserved through the ages in the Essene Brotherhoods and can still be practiced by man today. It's very true. Go read all the Gospels. The angels are everywhere in there. Communing with the Messiah, communing in many places, guys. Many places. How about the angel with when the donkey was getting hurt by Baal? And the angel stepped in the way and allowed the donkey to speak. Do you remember that? Okay, those are all very important instances of why this is important. It says this was a part of the esoteric teaching given by Moses and practiced in the Essene Brotherhoods 5 centuries preceding the Christian era. In later Essene traditions, the abstract idea of the law was conveyed by the symbol of a tree, called the Tree of Life. Moses had received a great revelation when he saw the burning bush in the desert. This represented 2 aspects of universal life, warmth and light. The warmth of the fire symbolized the fire of life, vitality in the material world. The light, symbolizing man's consciousness, represented the light of wisdom as opposed to the darkness of ignorance in the immaterial universe. Together, they represent the whole universe and the idea that man in the center draws life and vitality from all the forces of the cosmos. The Essenes symbolized this teaching in their Tree of Life, which pictured to them in a concrete form that man was a unity of energy, thoughts, and emotions, and a unit of life force, constantly communing with the totality of energies in the universe. Okay? Moses wished to see man living in harmony with the laws which govern all these energies inside and outside of man, and to become conscious of them and utilize them in every moment of life. In his study of the totality of the law, Moses attained an intuitive knowledge of the origin of the world and the beginning of all things. It was from this beginning of all things he derived the laws for daily life. He learned that all things are parts of the whole, put together according to law, and the 7 elements or basic forces of life appeared in 7 great cycles of creation, 1 element in each cycle. He grouped the days of the week into a corresponding cycle of 7, considering each day to correspond to a different one of the elements. This was symbolized in Essene traditions by the 7-branched candlestick, the candles of which were lit every 7th day, the Sabbath, to remind man of the 7 cycles and the 7 basic forces of the visible world and the 7 basic powers of the invisible world of man consciousness. Okay? The 3 periods of Moses' life in which he discovered the law and its manifestation represent the 3 periods into which nearly every man's life can be divided. The first, Egypt, has been called the period of bondage, the darkness of ignorance, when the free flow of vital energy is obstructed by ignorance and false values. That's kind of where I'm at in a way, but I'm coming out. Maybe a lot of you feel like you're there too. Mankind's Egypt, his slavery consists in the totality of his deviations from the law. The second period in Moses' life corresponds to the desert in an individual's life when his false values fall away and he sees nothing but emptiness ahead of him. All these teachings will make you feel like that because it's so foreign to what we've been taught. It is in this period man most urgently needs inner guidance that he may find his way back to the light, to the law. The third period in Exodus is possible for every man. There is always the light showing the way to the Exodus. Man's Egypt of bondage is never eternal. The Exodus under Moses lasted 40 years, but it was only a beginning on the path of intuition, the path of learning to live in harmony with the laws of life. of nature and the cosmos. An exodus for humanity can only be accomplished through the cumulative efforts of many people over many generations. But it can be accomplished, and it will be accomplished. There is always a Canaan, which is not a mythical utopia, but a living reality. The Exodus is the path that leads toward Canaan, the path that Moses trod, the path to which the Essene practices light, the way. So, man, here's like a little prayer thing. It says, I thank thee, Heavenly Father, because thou hast put me at a source of running streams, at a living spring in a land of drought, watering an eternal garden of wonders, the tree of life, mystery of mysteries, growing everlasting branches for eternal planting, to sink their roots into the stream of life from an eternal source. That is great. Now watch this, guys. I want to read you guys, something real quick. Well, it looks like it went away there. But anyways, there was only a few laws that had extended from the law, and it's in there. I think I've read this to you before, but one of those laws was not thou shalt not kill. It stated very clearly, thou shalt not take any life. That's to deviate from the law, to distort the natural law of nature, life, living, etc., right? It says that God gives all life. No man should take that away. Okay? No man. Now, I'm going to let you guys go with this, guys. I wrote a little something to help you guys maybe see in a different view. And maybe just touch your heart. Maybe help open your eyes and your ears just a little bit. And then I'm going to let you guys go and let you get back to your blessed days, okay? It says, I am blessed, I am risen, I am awake. In this moment I am grateful. My eyes are open, and I can see and feel healing in the sound, smell, and effects of raindrops. It was raining this day. Raindrops. Just raindrops. Nothing can change this moment. You made this moment, and I am forever in awe to be in it. I also heard the birds singing today, and their song gave me hope, hope everlasting, as it healed my despair and gave me peace. The world is dark right now, so dark it makes it almost seem permanent without end. But you shine in me. You make light reflect the light so that it illuminates the darkest places through love, quietness, and song. Through the most unseen and unheard of ways not understood by man, even though man lives among you, he does not even recognize you. For you have hid yourself in a way man cannot see with the eye. He is blind. He is lost. He does not even know who he is, how treasured he is. Of all the beauty in the earth, oceans and air, he, she is even more valuable than the sun. Yet he is blind. He does not see or understand that all of this was made to serve him in love and in song. Man is blind. Man denies his own power and place. Man is afraid of this, afraid to open his eyes and see and feel, for then he would then be responsible for all. For all is his. So man walks blind, selfishly. He has chosen his path, and I am thankful. I am grateful. I can feel and I can see. I am awake. I can feel everything I do. Everything I put my hand to do, I can see. I will to do the good. I am not the bad. I am the good. I will to do the will of the Most High who sent me. I am the good shepherd. I am the good steward. I am strong. I am the light. I am the lifesaver. I am. It's wonderful, guys. Praise the Most High. Blessings and peace be upon all of you. I hope that this was helpful to some of you. I hope this is uplifting to you and not the opposite. And also at the same time, I hope you guys really understood these things and understood what the inner teachings of these things are. If you go and you really study the Messiah, the Beatitudes, all the teachings that he put out, right? They're all a story of meekness and love and compassion towards all creation, not just mankind, but towards everything. Now, if he just focused on just man, what about everything else that God created? Everything else is precious, you guys. The law is within everything. It is within the trees. It is within the fruits, the vegetables we eat, all life, everything, the birds, the bees, the trees, the grass, everything, the dew, the water, the cold, the hot, everything. It is all there. It is all his creation. It is all precious. And until that matches the inside and the inside matches that, and we become one with creation and God and with the nature, the laws of nature and all of that, we will be walking blind and separate from God, because we have deviated from that law, from that original estate that I've been talking about since the beginning, but even more in depth now. Guys, go outside, take a walk. Go outside into nature and take a look. Slow down. Smell that flower. Pick up some grass. Move that grass between your fingers. Smell the grass. There's more healing in the grass than what you know and understand. I'm trying to open your eyes and see what I mean with that. Okay? The secrets of powers and all the mysteries and all the things can lie in such a simple thing as grass. Way beyond what we ever thought or imagined, okay? I just want you guys to be able to touch that inner part of your life and your spirit and who you are and become awake to those things. Anyways, guys, I love you. God bless you. Each and every single one of you. I got to get to work. I hope you guys have a blessed day. Blessings and peace to you. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.